All right, guys, welcome to this class. So what we're going to do today, mobility, we're going to do spine mobility. So we're really going to focus on the spine only. Next week, we're going to do probably something with the shoulders, but this week it's only about the spine. And before we start, I just like to give you a little bit about the anatomy of the spine. So I brought my friend here. And basically this is the torso. If I keep it in front of me like this, I'm going to stand a little bit backwards so you can see it. If I'm going to keep it in front of me, so you see my thoracic cavity, my rib cage here, my pelvis here, and in between is my spine. And if I turn it around like this, so basically you can say the spine has three different segments. So you have a lower spine. We call this the lumbar spine. It has 5 vertebrae. Then you have on top of that, you have the thoracic spine. So that's the middle spine where the ribs are connected. And this has 12 vertebrae. And then you have the cervical spine, the upper part, which is the neck. And then actually you could say there are 4 segments instead of 3, because we have the sacrum, in Dutch, Heiligbeen, here as well. Now the sacrum, basically you could say the sacrum doesn't move. It has a little bit of movement, but it's about 3% or a little bit less. So what we're going to do today is we're going to move basically this part, the 24 vertebrae of the spine itself, and they can actually make 6 different movements. So if you make a back bend like this, we call that an extension, and then you can actually see like, hey, my lower back is totally in a back bend, but my middle back, the thoracic spine, is not so much in a back bend. That's more or less flat. And that's always the case. Now, when you make this movement, we call this flexion, then you can say, hey, my lower back is more or less flat, but my upper middle back now is more rounding. So that's the case as well. This has more flexion, and the lower back has more extension. So that is 2 movements that the spine can make. Then the spine can lateral flex to each side, so you can bend over to the side, and the spine can rotate to 2 sides. So basically those are the movements that we're gonna make today, and we're gonna start really easy. So please come and lay on your back. Just come and lay on your back. Then really bring your knees to your chest. So you feel your spine basically rounding, and you feel that your pelvis is actually moving a little bit up the floor. So you're basically lifting your butt a little bit up the floor. And then relax that. Placing your feet on the floor. Just take a moment here. And then we're going to do that again. Knees to your chest, holding on to the shins, and then gently pulling your buttocks off the floor so you feel that your lower back is rounding. And relax it again. And I just bring your knees up, holding on to your knees or your shins, and I'm gently rocking over your lower back on the floor. You can make little circles here. Circles to the right, or circles to the left. So basically what we're doing right now, so in your back, around your spine, there's a lot of connective tissue. There's a lot of tissue we call, actually the modern name is fascia. So keep moving your back on the floor. So just keep moving your back on the floor. And now, basically, we are massaging that fascia on the floor right now. Then you place your feet on the floor. With your feet, I would say, wider than your hips, maybe even a little bit wider than that. And then you just drop your knees over to the right side. And you bring them back to the middle, and you drop them over to the left side. And you do that again. Right and left. And you probably feel that your pelvis now is moving, and basically that it's rotating your lower back. Your pelvis is moving, and then it's rotating your lower back. So you just keep doing this. Dropping your knees to the right, and to the left, and to the right, and to the left. So just keep doing that. And then slowly coming back to the middle, and then come and sit up. So the next thing we're going to do is basically doing our cat-cows, arching and rounding our spine, but we segment it. So it's not that you do it very natural. You start from the tailbone and you end at the tailbone. So you're going to stand on all fours, on hands and knees, and then you're going to start to lift your tailbone up, your sacrum, and you feel that your lower back is arching. Now your mid-back, your upper back is arching, and then you lift your head. Now from here, you start to curl your tailbone in again. You feel that your pelvis is tilting, and now your lower back, your mid-back, and your upper back are rounding, and last is rounding your neck, chin into your chest. Now we start again, arching from the tailbone, vertebra by vertebra, lifting the chest up and looking up. And then we round again from the tailbone. So we're going to do this 10 times, and you do it very consciously. So you don't want to go too fast. You basically want to go really, really slow, and just imagine that you can move all the separate vertebra, which you can't. It's impossible, but you can have that feeling that you just move every vertebra separately. So 10 times. Just keep doing that. You don't have to add any breath. You just very consciously move your spine in an arching and a rounded position. We call this spinal cars. CAR stands for controlled articular rotation. Not that you rotate so much, but the facets of the vertebra are basically sliding over each other. So very consciously, you're moving every joint in your spine. So 10 times. And when you're done, after your 10th time, you just kind of sit for a moment. Done. All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to make a similar movement, but now we're just going to side bend. And again, you're going to stand on hands and knees, but now very consciously you start with your right hip. You start to bring your right hip in the direction of your right shoulder. Then you feel that you're bending sideways from your lower back, mid back, and upper back, and then your right shoulder is coming to your hip. So when I'm standing up, it more or less looks like this. I start from my hip, then I'm starting to round sideways, and I'm bringing my shoulder in the direction of my hip. And then I'm doing the same thing on the other side, but I'm starting from my hip, lower back, mid back, shoulder. Cool? So we do that again. 10 times. So that means 10 times right and left. Moving side to side. But again, you initiate the movement from your pelvis, from your hips, and your shoulders are coming last. slowly move side to side. The movement that we are making, we call this lateral flexion. Do that 10 times. And again, after your 10th time, you're just going to sit for a moment. Interesting thing about this mobility, like what stops you in any movement is if your bones are hitting another bone, that we call that compression. But if you feel stretch on the side of your body, that could mean that you have a little bit more movement, because then you feel tension. And you can work through that tension, so it's good for the spine. So now we're going to combine these two movements. Marco's done as well. So we're going to combine these two movements, and basically what you're going to do is you start arch, side bend, and round. So you're going to very consciously, you're going to drop your belly to the floor. You lift it up to the left, to the right side. Then you round your spine. Then you push your spine to the left. And you bring it very consciously to the floor again. So you make a big circle, starting to the right side, rounding, left, and to the floor. And again, you do that 10 times, and then you're going the other way around. So you do the same thing on the other side. Now it's not, so you can just start this, and it's not that you just circle your spine. You basically want to use your knees and your hands on the floor. So you want to use your muscles to make this movement. So it's a very conscious movement. It's not a fast movement. You do it very consciously and actually a little bit slow. So big circles to the right and big circles to the left. And we're going to do 10 on each side. And when you did 10 on one side, then you're going to do 10 on the other side. And probably what you feel here as well, that even though we just focus on the spine, even though it's your spine that is making these movements, your muscles and the tissue around, like the muscles around your shoulders, fascia around your shoulders, that is all moving. So basically you could feel that you create a little bit of movement there as well. If that feels stiff or if that feels tight, by making these kinds of movements, you feel the tissues around different joints working as well. 10 times to the right and 10 times to the left. You're all done. And then we actually start it again. So we do this a second time. So we start very consciously with our cat-cow. We start with arching your spine from the tailbone, slowly lifting your chest and your head. And then from the tailbone, you start to round your spine. And last is coming your upper back and your neck. 10 times arching and rounding. And you can actually use your arms and your legs as well. The pressure of the floor, your arms and your legs can help you. So see if you can do it slowly and see if you can do it very consciously. So just imagine that you can move all these vertebrae separately, one by one, which theoretically is or physically is not possible, but you can have that feeling that you're doing that. Very nice. And when you're done this 10 times, we're going back to that side bending as well. So you can immediately start with that side bending. And again, the movement starts from the pelvis. So when you're done with arching and rounding, you can immediately start with your side bending, side to side. If you need a little break in between, just a breath, go ahead. But after this, when we're done, then we're gonna take a little break. So slowly, side to side, very consciously. 10 times to the right, 10 times to the left. From what I see, you guys do great. Now, when you're done with the side bending, we go ahead with the circles again. So 10 circles to the right and 10 circles to the left. But again, use your muscles. Don't go too fast. I think when I'm doing this, when I'm making these circles, it takes me about 10 seconds for a full circle. Circles to the right and circles to the left. And when you're done, you're just gonna lay on your back for a moment. So when you're done, just come and lay on your back for a moment. And then just feel your spine, feel your back. After your 10th time, you're just gonna lay down and just observing the spine. It's good to every now and then take a rest and just feel whatever it is that happens in your body right now. Now, how does your spine feel? Does it feel relaxed? Does it feel good? I see a thumbs up. It feels good. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're gonna go a little bit beyond this movement. We're gonna get into a little bit more rotation. And then very slowly coming up. Now, for the next exercise, you could actually grab a blanket. If you have a blanket handy, you want to turn that either into a roll, or maybe you have something like a foam roll, or anything that you can basically place on it, or a rolled yoga mat. It could be as well. If you have a yoga mat and you roll that up to a very tight roll, you can use that as well. So if you have a towel, you just turn it into a very tight roll. I have a foam roller here, so I'm going to use this. And it could be a little bit too much for your body, but we have to see how it works. I see you all have rolls. Just wait a little bit until you roll your towel. Very good. So what we're going to do, basically we want to place this roll on our back, but behind our sternum, your breastplate. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay on top of this. If it's your towel, then you're going to place your towel, first of all, under your shoulder blades. Then you roll a little bit under until that towel comes under your sternum. So now you're basically lifting your rib cage up and your shoulders are moving back. And you can just lay here. So you try, if it's a towel, it's probably a little bit flatter, and it doesn't even matter. You know, like to me, if I do this, even that tiny roll under my thoracic spine already feels like I'm doing a lot. And you just relax your body here. So you can keep your knees bent if it's high up. And if the roll is a little bit lower, you can just stretch your legs and relax your body. We're going to stay here for 1 minute. So we're going to stay here for 1 minute. Just need to grab my timer. It is here. All right. Timer on. So after a minute, I'm just going to ask you to come out and then you relax on your back. Let's see if it's going well. No. So the roll is not in your lower back. It is basically under your middle back. And I see your rib cage is sticking out, so it's all good. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So just rolling over to your side or sitting up, taking the roll away, and then please come and lay on your back again. Just flat, your back flat on the floor. There's nothing under your back now. We're going to repeat this in a moment, but first we want to rest the thoracic spine a little bit. All right. Take your time to place the roll back under your, basically under your shoulder blades, on the bottom of your shoulder blades. It's literally under your sternum. So your sternum is lifting up, and then come down again, lay over that roll, relaxing your full body on there. So we are filming this, and this is gonna go on YouTube. So while you guys are in this pose and you wanna look this up later, I'm just gonna demonstrate it here with my skeleton. So basically the roll is under the thoracic spine. And even though the thoracic spine doesn't have a lot of extension, you try to get all the extension out of that spine that you have. Like if you look at the thoracic spine in a back bend orientation, and I said it at the beginning of class, your lumbar spine has a lot of back bend, but your thoracic spine is basically flat. But this is already back bending the thoracic spine. So you want to take all the back bend out of that spine as you can get. And that roll is a great help to do this. So this is 1 minute. So again, just coming off your roll, take the roll away, and then relax your whole body on the floor, just for a moment. So relaxing your whole body down for a moment. Now, we did a lot with arching and rounding the spine, so with flexion and extension of the spine. And now we want to get in that rotation of the spine. So just take a look for a moment. So you want to rotate the spine, and we're going to do that in two ways. And again, we're going to repeat that twice. You don't want to go too fast, but I'm going to lay on my back. I'm spreading my arms wide. I'm lifting my knees up in a 90-degree angle, so they're not far backwards and they're not too much to my chest. So basically my sacrum is still on the floor. Then I bring my knees over to the right side as far as I can, and I bring them back to the middle, and then I rotate my knees to the left as far as I can. Back to the middle, to the right, and to the left. So again, you're going to do that 10 times right, 10 times left. So that's a 20 in total. And do it consciously and slow again. So don't go too fast. So very consciously move your legs to the right, to the middle, and to the left. So don't go too fast. You can say, do it again in about 10 seconds. So from the right to the left takes you about 10 seconds. Your shoulders stay on the floor as much as you can. So spreading out your arms can really help you to find that balance here. So you don't want to roll over to your right or your left side while doing this. You just want to keep your shoulders as flat on the floor as possible. So it's your pelvis now that is rotating. And it looks like your pelvis is rotating. It's basically more or less the lumbar spine that is rotating. It's part of the thoracic spine. But you can say it's the lower part of your back. Right and left and right and left. 10 times right, 10 times left, so it's a 20 in total. And you do it slow. It takes you about 10 seconds to go from side to side. And when you're done, you just relax in the middle and just relax your body on the floor for a moment. So I see that everybody is done. So when you're done, just come and lay on your back and relaxing there for a moment. Great. Take a moment there. Just 1 or 2 breaths. And then you come up to a sitting position again. Now we're going to do a similar thing. And I like to use something in between my legs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start by bringing both my knees to the right. So actually you could say I was bringing my knees to the right and to the left. I'm going to end on the right side. And now I like to place something in between my thighs so I can press my thighs into each other. So I really want to press my knees towards each other and not losing that connection. So you don't have to place something in between, but really press your thighs on top of each other. Now what you're going to do is I'm going to bring, in this case, my left hand on top of my right hand. So I'm starting on my right side. I can place something under my head if I need to, but I don't have to. Now my left, I'm going to keep pressing my legs into each other, but my left arm is going up, 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 up. My hips don't move, but my left arm is going as far to the left as I can, without moving my legs or my hips. And then I'm going back to the front. And I'm going up and back. And again, I would say that takes you about 10 seconds. So do it 10 times on this side. When you're done, you just turn over to the other side and you start to repeat the same thing on the other side. And then all of a sudden, you feel that you move from a different segment of the spine. So the previous one you felt in the lower back, and now you feel it more in the upper mid-back. 10 times to the right, and 10 times to the left. So make sure that your hips don't move. Your pelvis is not moving. Your thighs are pressing into each other. Take about 10 seconds. If it's difficult to find that rhythm, just count 10 out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back. And then you start again. So the movement back is not that important. The movement going there, left arm to the left, is the most important part. And then you can just roll back. And then you start again. When you've done 10 times to one side, then you turn your hips to the other side, and again, you do it 10 times on the other side. So the trick with mobility is to repeat the movements. So you don't just want to do it once, and you want to repeat it. Now this film is gonna go online. So if you're not going to come to class, if we're not able to come to class sooner or later, well, at one point we probably will, then you can always repeat this same cycle, right? So when you've done 10 times on one side, bring your knees to the other side. They are bent in a more or less 90-degree angle. You start from your side, and now it's your right arm that's going up to the left. Very good. Keep moving side to side. And you probably notice that you have much more rotation on one side than the other. Don't forget to breathe while you're doing this. You probably know what's going to go next. So when you're done, you're going to lay on your back again, and you start by moving your knees side to side. So again, we're going to do that 20 times in total, right to the left. So you're going to lay on your back. Knees are in a more or less 90-degree angle. You're going to keep them there. For some people, this is as well. This could be easier with something in between your legs. So it's just not easier to move your whole pelvis leg area as one segment, as one block. And you take about 10 seconds to go from side to side. Keep your arms spread to the sides, and then use that weight of your arms or the muscles around your shoulders and your chest to basically control the upper body. It's going really well. The interesting thing is the last part of bringing your knees to one side. Don't let yourself drop. So when you're done, you're just going to lay on your back for a moment. Waiting till everybody is done. All right. Then you're going to bend your knees again. Bring your knees up. Move your knees over to the right side. Either place something in between your thighs or keep your legs pressing together. Place your hands on top of each other on the right side, so you're laying on your whole right side. And now you bring your left arm up and to the left. So you're twisting from the upper body again. Again, 10 times. Take your time. And maybe you count out loud while you're doing that. I'm just joining you for a little bit, just to give you the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back to the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back to the middle. So keep that rhythm. There's as well, we could have a good discussion about what is the best technique. For some people, it actually works when you are going a little bit faster. But, you know, like especially when you're not really familiar with mobility, you are actually I know people who are very familiar with mobility and they just want to, they repeat this, but keep it very slow, very controlled. But sometimes doing it fast as well moves the energy in your body a little bit. But in this case, it is slow. Somewhere in the near future, it will probably repeat this kind of exercises, and then we may just do it a little bit faster. And when you're done, you just come and lay on your back. When you're done, you just relax on the floor. So I see that everybody is done. All right, you're all done. Then slowly come and stand up. What we're going to do is an exercise again to control rounding and stretching the back, or stretching the spine in a straight up position. So what you're going to do, you're going to stand up, you're going to bring your chin to your chest, so you start to round your neck. And then from your neck, you start to round your upper body, your upper spine. And then you round your middle spine, slowly going to the lower spine. And then you feel your pelvis tilting. So now you're moving from your femur, from your hip joint. And you just hang out here for a moment. Take about 2 seconds. And then you're going to start to round up again. You start from the pelvis, from the sacrum, lower back, middle back, slowly into your upper back, shoulders. Then your cervical spine, your neck vertebrae are coming up. And then last, it's your chin. So we're going to do that 10 times. Do it slow. Slowly rolling down and slowly rolling up. And it takes you probably more than 10 seconds to go down. And it takes you more than 10 seconds to go up. So if I count this, it takes me about 20 seconds to go down and about 20 seconds more or less to go up. So it could be 15 for you, or it could be 21 or 22 for you. I know I'm a slow mover in this case. So if you're done 10 times, then you're just going to stand up. And then we wait till everybody is done. Rounding, going down, and then slowly start to move your body up. So you could say you're going to a flexed position for the spine, and then you're coming up to a neutral position. So it's stretching up, but you're not stretching your back. It's just a way to say it. You're done, you're just going to stand up. Do it slowly and very controlled, like everything you want to do here, slow and very controlled. Just finish what you're doing. This, by the way, is a great exercise to do not only now, but do it, I would say, almost as often as you can. All right, you guys are done. Marco is still finishing. Just shake out your body for a moment. And of course, we're going to repeat this 10 times. You're going to repeat this 10 times, but you can add something. So what I like to do normally when I do this in the gym, I would actually stand either on a bench or on a box, or in this case, I have 2 yoga blocks, so sometimes I like to elevate myself. So when you're going down, and you're down, 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 you have a little bit of like hamstring stretch, extra stretch for your erector spinae, thoracolumbar fascia. It could be nice to elevate yourself, but you don't have to. You can just do 10 times the same movement as we did. However, what could be helpful as well is sometimes to have a little weight, like even a soda bottle or so can help you to add a little weight of what you're doing. Now this is not that high, so if I just hold my kettlebell like this, I'm at the floor before I'm going into my full range of motion. So I just hold it at the bottom. I start with my chin to my chest, and then slowly I already feel it. As soon as my my thoracic spine starts to move, that weight is bringing me down. But now I need my muscles to control it. So I really don't want to fall down. I'm basically working against gravity, but going towards the floor. And then slowly rolling up. Adding a little weight would be really, really helpful. So that could be from only like a soda bottle or anything that you can add. Sometimes you could even just do it with a brick like this. So just having the feeling that something is helping you to go down. So we're going to do this again 10 times. If you don't want to add weight, or if you don't have a weight, no worries, you don't need it. But sometimes it's really nice and helpful. Yeah, any kind of brick. So it's just very conscious moving your spine. Actually go a little bit slower. But sometimes when you're standing on something higher and you're all the way down, it is just nice to hang there a little bit and let that weight pull on your tissue a little bit. So letting that weight, whatever weight you're carrying, help you to stretch out, in this case, the hamstrings, calf muscles, the intrinsic back muscles, thoracolumbar fascia there, tissues around your shoulders. So 10 times up and down. Great work. Sometimes you're just counting. Beautiful round spines. And then when you're done, you actually just come and lay on the floor. So when you're done, you're just going to lay on the floor just for a moment. All right. We're all on the floor. So we're going to do a final exercise, and that is not so much of, it's not a real mobility exercise. It's actually a great strengthening exercise for the whole upper body. So what we did, we brought flexion and extension in the spine. We did some side bending and twisting. We added a little weight where we had some weight. Some of you did, some of you didn't. Now, what I want to do for the last exercise is just to strengthen the front and the back of the body. So we brought a lot of mobility there. Now I want to strengthen or activate those muscles again. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do it in a cycle. We're going to lay on our belly. We're going to lift the chest, the arms, and the legs up for about 30 seconds. Then you come in your forearms in a low plank for about 30 seconds, and we repeat that 3 times in total. So please come and lay on your belly. I'm going to put my timer on, and I'm actually going to join you in this. So arms back, and then lift your chest, your arms, and your legs. And just stay there for 30 seconds. So feel that you now contract your back muscles. You probably may just feel that you're using part of your glutes, your hamstrings. Like everything on the back of your body now is active to lifting your chest, your arms, and your legs off the floor. Just a couple of seconds more. Now bring your forearms down, come into your low plank, and then stay here for about 30 seconds as well. Now what you notice now is even though planking like this is activating a lot in your body, but it's mostly the front that you feel. Just another 10 seconds here. And then you're coming down again, arms back, lifting everything up. 30 seconds. Halfway. Stay where you are, maybe coming a little bit higher even. Forearms to the floor, tuck your toes under, low plank. Halfway done, I'm going to do one more cycle after this. And then come down to the floor, arms back, lifting everything up. We're halfway now. One more time, our planking, about 5 seconds. Come into your plank. Last one. 30 seconds here. So in total, it's not that long. It's just 3 minutes doing these exercises. Just only 1.5 minutes of planking and 1.5 minutes of back bend, which is not that long. But you may just feel this. So 10 seconds here. And then slowly come out. Just take a breath here. And then we're done. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. And what I always say, like, observe your back now. So we did a lot of movement there, and then just feel how this feels tomorrow, because it may just feel a little bit tired now, but it could be that tomorrow you feel much better. It feels much better, freer, more mobility. It could even feel a little stiff, of course, but you did great. See?